Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walahu ba'd. All praise due to Allah and His praise and blessings and peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Today we will start with the actual Tafseer Surah Al Kahf. And the first verse, which is a separate from the verses of the surahs, it is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وبسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هي آية منفصلة عن كل سور القرآن إلا في موضعين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, it is a separate verse in all the surahs in the Quran except in two positions or two surahs. Number one, Surah Bara'ah, Surah At-Tawbah. It's not a verse that you begin with Surah Bara'ah. There is no Bismillah ar-Rahman in the beginning. It's the only surah in the Quran. There is no Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim in it. Number two, it is part of Surah Al-Naml, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to us about the queen of Sheba when she was reading the letter from Sulaiman alayhi salam, and in it, وَإِنَّهُ مِن سُلَيْمَانَ وَإِنَّهُ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ. This letter, it is from Sulaiman, and it starts with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And this is Hadiyul Anbiya. This is the way the prophets and messengers do. Whenever they write something, they start with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Can anyone here remember or can think of incident where Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam wrote something and he started with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim? The Treaty of Al-Huda, he started by saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And they objected to that and they said, Ma na'lamu illa Rahman al-Yamama ar-Rahman. We don't know what's ar-Rahman. We never heard of that name as a name of the God. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the verses, Ayyamma tad'u falahu al-asma'u al-husna. Whatever you call him, subhanahu has many names, not only one or two. Anyway, so here, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, it's a separate verse. Bismillah, يعني أستعين Bismillah. I seek help and aid from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I seek blessings by His names. إذن أستعين بالله وأطلب البركة Bismillah. So I'm seeking help and aid from Allah, and I am also seeking blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's names by mentioning them in the beginning of my action. هنا فائدة مهمة. Here I want you to pay attention to something. أهمية الاستعانة في مقام العبادة. It is so important to keep in mind that it is so essential when it comes to worshiping Allah that you seek help from Allah to help you to worship Allah. And that a very important lesson we repeat every day in Surah Al-Fatiha. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. We worship you alone and we seek help and aid from you. Ibadatullah, worshiping Allah, cannot be done without the help from Allah, without the tawfiq, without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opening your heart, without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving you the aid and the support. So one of the most important lessons that you keep in mind, whenever you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, yani I seek help and aid from Allah to help me in what to accomplish what I'm about to do. And here, Al-Basmala has always been ordained to, and we've been encouraged to say it in the beginning of the act of worship. أيضا, we ask help and aid from Him so we can do it right, so we can do it correctly, so it will be beneficial for us in the dunya and in the akhirah. يعني أن تنتفع, تسأل الله أن يعينك, you ask Allah to help you, so this ibadah will be beneficial. Because sometimes al-ibadah is not beneficial. That's why you seek help and aid from Allah and blessing from Allah. Because sometimes you pray and you finish the salah and you don't remember anything from the salah, as if you didn't pray. And the salah that's supposed to stop us from doing the haram didn't. The siyam that's supposed to connect us spiritually with Allah and to make us control our anger and our desire didn't. Reading Quran is supposed to connect your heart to Allah, it didn't. So hatta al-ibadah, even the act of worship, you seek help and aid from Allah, and you ask Allah to bless you for the ibadah that you're about to do, so it will benefit you in the dunya, and it will benefit you in the akhirah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it and reward you for it. Then, Allah taught us that to mention two of His names, that they are both related to one of His qualities. Isman yadullan ala sifati wahida. And they are Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. And both names lead, or both names refer to one attribute, which is Allah's mercy. Allah's mercy. Why? Why this is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, especially fi maqam al-ilm, especially when you seek knowledge, when you're about to learn, to explore the Quran, to read the Quran. Why Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim? For many reasons. And one of the reasons that some of the ulama mentioned, number one, to know that al-ilm yahtaj ila al-rahmah bil-khalq. Whenever you have ilm, you must combine your knowledge with mercy. So you have mercy on people. Because sometimes al-ilm make people arrogant, make people powerful, make people think that they domain and they control and they're above. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want you to have that. The more you increase your ilm, the more you go down into earth, down to earth. The more, subhanAllah, the more you have knowledge, the more merciful you are with the people. كان مثلا المزني رحمه الله, which is one of the students of Imam Shafi'i رحمه الله تعالى, من أشد الناس على نفسه, one of the most strict scholars when it comes to himself. وكان من أيسر الناس في فتواه مع الناس. And when he gives fatwa to people, he will be the most easiest person ever in giving fatwa. Have mercy with people. He does not like to complicate things. Also, when we say we ask and seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and blessings from His name Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, it also make you, as I said, to be down to earth, to know that this ilm that you have and you acquired, this understanding of the Quran that you acquired, it is because of the mercy of Allah. It is because of the fadl of Allah. Out of His mercy allowed you to understand it. Out of His mercy allowed you to read it. Out of His mercy He is rewarding you. So you don't feel that it is you, the one who did it, as much as it is you just ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Allah opened the door for you, so you were able to take advantage of that and to learn and to memorize and to do whatever you're about to do when you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Just as a quick reminder before we go, we mentioned last time that this surah, there is a reason behind it, there is a story behind it. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said to us that Quraysh have sent another Ibn al-Harith wa Uqbah ibn Abi Mu'ayt to the Jewish scholars in Medina. They asked them about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they told them about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what he's saying, what he's claiming to be, the thing that happened to him. And they said they have the knowledge of the book, okay, and they know about prophets and messenger more than us because they had so many prophets. So they went to the Jews and they asked them. They said, you are the people of the Torah, and we came here to ask you about this man. Is he a true prophet and messenger, or he is a liar? Then they said, go back and ask him these questions. Only prophets knows the answers for these questions. Number one, ask him about a young man, long time ago. They ran away from their people, and amazing things happened to them. And ask them about a man who traveled the world from the far east to the far west. What is his story? And ask him about ar-ruh, the soul. What is it? If he answers you, he's a prophet. And follow him. And if he don't know how to answer, he doesn't know it, he is a liar, and don't follow him and do whatever you wish to him. فَافْعَلُوا فِيهِ مَا شِئْتُمْ. They came to the Prophet ﷺ and they said, Ya Muhammad, tell us. And they asked him the three questions. Then the Nabi ﷺ said to them, I will tell you tomorrow. وَلَمْ يَقُلْ إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهِ. And he did not say, Insha'Allah, if Allah will. He just made a confirmation that tomorrow you'll get the answer. And you know, it's not in your hand, it's in Allah's hand. He tells you or not. You can't dictate on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala what He does. So tomorrow came, he did not receive anything from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Next day, 3, 4, 15 days, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam don't have an answer for them. And the people of Mecca, they were so happy, they said, that's it. He doesn't know the answer, he's spreading rumors, he's a liar, he's this, he's that. And then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam became so sad. And my question is, why the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam became sad? He was so sad that this happened. Why the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was so sad? Because he promised and he could not fulfill his promise. What else can be? He thought somehow that he disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What else? Yes. He thought that he might cause them not to believe in the Quran and his message. In another word, what Shaykh Ibrahim is saying, the Prophet ﷺ, by this delay, this became fitnah for them. Became a reason for them not to believe. So the Prophet ﷺ was not sad for personal reason, because he looks bad now in front of them, or he kind of disappointed. No, the Prophet ﷺ is sad because that will be a cause for them to turn away from the deen. Will not anymore listen to him. They said, you know, Allah, I'm not going to listen to you anymore. It drove them away from the deen. And that made the Prophet ﷺ so sad that to the extent that he almost died from sadness. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the surah to answer the questions. And part of this, one question was answered in Surah Al-Isra about Ar-Ruh. So this is the story behind the surah. Let's start with it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا قيما لينذر بأسا شديدا من لدنه ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا حسنا ماكثين فيه أبدا. Alhamdulillah, all praise is due to Allah, who has sent down upon his servant or slave the book الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب, and has not made therein any deviance. ولم يجعل له عوجا قيما لينذر بأسا, and he has made it straight to warn of severe punishment from him, and to give good tidings to the believers who do righteous deeds, that they will have a good reward in which they will remain forever. ماكثين فيه أبدا. Alhamd. Also, that's a very famous word. Alhamdulillah. Which alhamd in Arabic language, they say it's praise, all praise due to Allah. The word hamd in Arabic language هو الإخبار عن محاسن المحمود مع الحب والإجلال. I want to pay attention to the definition. It is praising, mentioning the good quality of the one that you love and you honor and respect. That's what's called praising. So if I mention the good quality of someone but I don't necessarily love that person or love that thing. That doesn't call hamd in Arabic language. It's called madh, praise. But al-hamd, it means that I praise that thing and I love it so much. But what if I love it enough? No. They said you have also to have a complete respect and honoring for that thing. And if you look at the use of the word hamd in Arabic language, it always combines these meanings. So it to mention the good and the excellent qualities that that thing possesses, while you love that thing and you respect so much. And that's what Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah mentioned in Bada'i al-Fawaid after a very long discussion. إذن هو وصف المحمود بالكمال. It is to describe the one that you praise with the excellent qualities, while you love that one that you praise and you honor that thing that you praise so much. Because sometimes I might praise you not because I love you and respect you. Maybe I praise you because I want something from you. I mentioned your good quality, okay? And I want something from you. I go to Salah and I said, Ya Salah, mashallah, you're so good, your hands are blessed, you're so nice, blah, blah, blah. And in the end, all this because I know he's gonna make a good meal for me. He's an excellent cook. You see? So, because I want something from him. Or I am having, a meeting with someone. I praise him because I'm afraid of him, that he will harm me. So that's not called hamd. Al-hamd, what comes initially motivated by the love and respect. طيب here, al-hamd, not hamdan lillah. He didn't say hamdan, he said al-hamd, that praise belong to Allah. That. This is that or al-lam, lam al-istighraq. Lam al-istighraq, which it means all kind of praising. That's what we translate. All kind of praising belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All kind, and all ways of praising belong to Allah. So you praise Allah with your tongue, you praise Allah with actions, you praise Allah writing, any type of praising, any form of praising, any way to praise Allah, the perfect ways of praising, the best ways of praising, the best description to praise someone, all belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why if you listen to Imam Ahmad, Allahumma laka alhamdu kullu, wa laka al-mulku kullu, wa ilayka yurja'u al-amru kullu. Oh Allah, all kind of praising, all praising belong to you. All kingdoms belong to you. So here, why it is interesting how it started with all praising due to Allah, the one who sent down the book. Okay? All praise is due to Allah who has sent down upon his servant the book. If the verse would be حمدا لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب. Praise to God, the one who sent down the book. You might think at that point that the reason for you to praise Allah, it is because he's the one who sent down the book. If you say, praise to God, the one who sent down. He didn't say this, he said, all praise to Allah. One of the things that he should be praised for, that he sent down the book. But if you don't say all praise due to Allah, you might think that you praise him only because of one quality, which is sending down the book. So the structure of the sentence make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deserving all kind of praises. And one of the reasons that he deserved to be praised because he sent down the book. طيب. I have a question for you. Al-lam lillah. Al-lam in Arabic language has many meanings. One of it here. So all praise due to Allah. So here lillah, alhamdulillah. Al-lam, is it lil-istihqaq أم للاختصاص. What that means? The lam, it could mean to specify something that it belonged to someone else. So I said, this pen, li, Leah. This pen is belong to me. So this is only for me. I own it. سمونها لام الاختصاص. But also, al-lam, it could means he deserves it. Not because he owns it, not because it's mine, but because he deserves it. This pen is to you, is for you. هذا القلم لك. This pen لك. I said the lam, it is for you. Not because he owns it, because he deserves it. So here, this lamb is the praise to Allah. Because praise only belongs to Allah, all praise belongs to Allah, or because Allah deserved to be praised. Which meaning? Which one of the two? Yeah. Very good. Say it in English, it's better than me. Yeah, it's actually combined between both. Because the perfect praising, the perfect type of praising, only Allah deserves it. Only Allah can have it. So, al-ikhtisas only belongs to Allah. But also He deserves it because no one complete like Him. No one perfect like Him. So that's why He should be praised in the best way. Very good. طيب. Allah is a name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Comes from the word ilah. Ilah. That's originally what Allah means. Ilah. Then al-ilah. Allah is al-ilah. But because it's heavy in pronouncing al-ilah, we keep repeating it. So what the Arab did, they put the two lambs together and they remove the hamza. So it becomes Allah. So they transfer the word al-ilah to Allah because it's much easier to be pronounced. So which it means, al-ilah, it means the one that you love the most and you submit yourself to Him. That's what the word ilah means. Ilah in Arabic language means the one that you love so much that you submit yourself to. And that's a common use even before Islam. The word ilah, it means ma'bud, that's someone that you worship, that's someone you submit yourself to. And there is one of the qira'at in the Quran, in Surah Al-A'raf, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about Fir'aun, which is Ibn Abbas used to read it, about Fir'aun, أن فرعون لما قال له ملأه, the people around Fir'aun, they told him, وَيَذَرَكَ وَإِلَاهَتَكَ. احنا نقرأ وَيَذَرَكَ وَآلِهَتَكَ. فكان ابن عباس يقول وإلهتك يعني عبادتك لأن فرعون كان يعبد ولا يعبد معه غيره. So here in this verse, the way Ibn Abbas read the surah, that referring to Pharaoh, he said, the people around Pharaoh told him, Musa will encourage people not to worship you. They will not have you as ilah, yani to be worshipped. So the word ilah, it means the one that you worship, you submit yourself to out of complete love. Alhamdu lillah. Just for the record, the word alhamd with this alif lam, al-da, alhamd, never been attributed to any other name other than Allah. For Quran or Sunnah. There is no alhamdu lil-Rahman, alhamdu lil-Ghafur, or alhamdu lil-Ghafur, alhamdu lil-Malik. There is no like this. But it could be without alif wa lam, attributed to other than the name Allah. For example, فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ. فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ, but without alif, without dha, without al. Okay? But when you add al, which it means the most comprehensive or all the kind of praising, it always belongs to Allah. Can anybody think of reason? Why would we say Alhamd only connect to the name Allah, not to any other names? It is, nobody doubt that. You mean, is this the proof that Allah, that name, is the most special name of Allah's all? But that's not my point. This doesn't help the question that I'm asking. The question I'm asking is, what do you think is the benefit of that all praise due to Allah? You never find all praise due to Ar-Rahman, all praise due to this. Yeah, very close, very good. Al-Ulama rahimahullah said that when you say Allah, you think about Dhatullah. You only think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's entity. Okay? But when you say Ar-Rahman, you think about Allah, the entity of Allah, then you think about the mercy. Is that right? Is that right? Then you think about the forgiveness, the ownership, the power, and so forth. So if you say the praise is to the most powerful, you think that the reason of praising Allah is Him being powerful or being merciful. But when you say all praising to Allah, that it is because His nature is so beautiful, so great, that He deserves this praise even before He does anything, even before you see any one of His actions. And if you say that to Allah, that will go to automatically to all the other names and all the other quality that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala possesses. Then he said, الَّذِي أَنزَلَ الْكِتَابَ عَلَى عَبْدِهِ, the one who sent down the book upon his slave. He mentioned here one of Allah's blessings that because of it he deserved to be praised, which is that He have sent down the book to us. And how would it be one of the best blessings of Allah? من أعظم نعم الله التي يمدح بها. One of the best things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He can be praised with, that He sent down Al-Kitab. Allah guided through this book people from al-dalal. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whenever He mentioned an example, He meant to make us pay attention to that example. Yani, Allah, there is many reasons for us to be praised for. That's right? There is so many reasons lead us to praise Allah. There is so many things should be mentioned to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with. But He only mentioned one thing here. And when He mentioned one thing out of all this, He wanted to pay attention to that thing. It is so special. It is so important to focus on, which is the Quran, which is the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also it shows you the value of this thing, so that's why you have to pay very much attention to it. And listen to that. He said, Alhamdulillah, all praise due to Allah, the one who sent the book upon His servant. قدم الكتاب نعمة الكتاب على نعمة الرسول. He started with the book before the messenger. Because sending the messenger is also another blessing. He should be deserved for it. He deserved to be praised for it. But He started with the book, not the messenger, because He did not become a messenger before the book. What made هذا العبد رسول معظم عند الله هو هذا الكتاب. What made that servant that Allah referring to, which is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a special, so honorable, is that book that is sent down to him. And that what make any one of us today special is believing in this book, following this book. So that's why the favor of the book is higher than anything else. That's why I start with it. The best ni'mah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he sent down to him the book. The best ni'mah that he can give you, the best blessing that he can give you, is to make you believe in this book, follow this book, memorize this book. That's the best thing you can memorize, the best thing you can ever read, the best thing you can spend time doing. It is to study the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَهُ. The best among you, the one who learned the Quran and teach the Quran. There is no doubt about that. وَفَضْلُ كَلَامِ اللَّهِ, the virtue of Allah's words over other people's words and work is like the difference between Allah and the creation. The virtue of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over the creation. So he said here in this verse that all praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who sent down the book upon his servant, ala abdi. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give in the following verse, or this verse, an amazing description for the Quran. يعني من أعجب أوصاف القرآن. Why? To show you why Allah chose this to be the thing that he emphasizes upon in this verse, which is why that we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for sending down the book. What is special about this book? He said, Al-Kitab, the book. Question: did Allah send down the Quran to Muhammad in a form of book? Yani written format? Huh? No. So why he said he sent down Al-Kitab, the book? هذا في لغة العرب it means فاعل بمعنى مفعول، كتاب بمعنى مكتوب. يعني he sent down to Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم something, it will be written, it will be documented. So the word kitab, it means maktub. يعني the Quran is something can be written and documented. That also gives you an indication that it is a duty of the Muslim Ummah, the duty of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that is the mission of the Prophet and the messenger of Allah and the companions and the Ummah after that, is to what? To document it, to write it down, to protect it, to save it, to make copy of it, to make it available. Okay? So that's given indication in itself that Al-Quran is something must be written and also saved, which is this word Al-Kitab give also a glad tiding and a good news that Al-Quran in the end will be collected and saved and became like a book. هي فيه بشارة that this book, this revelation, which is go over the years of 5 verses here, because the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in the beginning he used to have 5 verses, never more than 5. 5 verses. Then after that, احتر الوحي, اشتد. It became more than 5, 10, a whole entire surah. But that's give you also indication that in the end, all this will be gathered together and will be saved in a form of a book. To tell you about the future of this kitab, that this revelation in Muhammad will not be lost. That's a very interesting also point some of the ulama rahimahumullah said. So the word kitab is like the word ايش عشان بس نقرب المعنى لباس يعني ملبوس شيء تلبسه. So libas, it means clothes. We call it libas because you wear it. So kitab because it is written, because when people hear it written, that's why Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam had writers, several writers, عدد من الكتاب. Whenever he received the Qur'an, he called them. He said, write. And they start writing this verses that he just received. So that's why we call it kitab. Al-Quran has many names. Al-Kitab, one of them. بعض العلماء mention 90 plus names. 97 or something like that. Names of the Quran. Az-Zarkashi rahimahullah mentioned 55 names for the Quran. And one thing amazing about the names of the Quran, each and every name of the Quran, each and every name of the Quran is a description of the Quran. Give you example. Al-Quran itself, it means something been recited. You read. So it is something easy to read. It has to be recited. Otherwise, there is no Quran. If you don't recite it, that's not a Quran. Quran means something to be recited and read. Let's encourage you to read it. Just the name of it. Also, a dhikr, the reminder. Just remind you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, remind you of the akhirah, remind you of the purpose of your life, remind you of the rules of Allah, what He likes, what He doesn't. Al-Furqan, the one distinguish between the haqq and the batil, the falsehood and the truth. Al-Huda, the guidance. Al-Shifa, healer. Al-Nur, light. Al-Ruh, soul. Because without Al-Quran, your body is dead. Your life is dead. It's like a body without soul. That's why it's called Al-Ruh. Also, Al-Rahmah, the mercy. Al-Maw'idah, the reminder. Al-Aziz, the honorable. That's why Al-Quran is an honorable book, honorable text. حتى قال العلماء لو قرأ الإنسان القرآن أو حفظ شيء من القرآن, if you memorize the Quran or part of the Quran in your heart and you don't pay attention to it, you don't review it, you don't reflect upon it, عزيز يعز عليه أن يبقى في قلب من لا يهتم به. It's an honorable text, an honorable thing. It will not remain in your heart if you don't pay attention to it. It will leave you. Because it's an honorable thing. It's like when you're an honorable person and you see people don't treat you good, you leave the place. I don't stay here. So if you have the Quran and you don't treat it properly, it will leave because it's an honorable book. أيضا Al-Majid, the great, and so many. النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم was mentioned here with the book to show you that what honored the Prophet ﷺ the most is him receiving that book from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is a great honor of choosing you to be the messenger of Allah. What kind of title Allah gave Muhammad ﷺ? Abdi, the slave of Allah. He did not give him the honorable Muhammad. He didn't say, oh, the great messenger, or the prophet, or the son, my son, or my friend, anything like that. He said, my slave. Ala abdi. ونسبه إليه تشريفا. He said, my slave. To honor him, sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Why? Because أشرف المقامات مقامات العبودية. The honorable position, the honorable thing that you can to achieve ever is to be a true servant of Allah. ومما زادني شرفا وتيها وكدت بأخمصي أطأ الثريا أن أدخلتني تحت قولك يا عبادي وأن صيرت أحمد لي نبيا. He said, what made me so proud, and I feel like I am walking on the clouds, like reaching stars, that you have addressed me among those who you said in your book, oh my servants, ya ibadi, that I'm one of them. And you have made Ahmad, which is sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, my messenger and my prophet. That's very honorable. I give you how to think about it to make you feel so special. Okay? Let's say I want Ibrahim to know something. I want to deliver a message to him. So I asked our Shaykh Ibrahim, I said, please give this message to Ibrahim. He will feel special because I choose the Shaykh of the masjid to come to give him the message. Versus, I ask just anyone to give him the message. Versus, I said, so that the messenger himself, if he is something so special, it actually shows that you also very special. That's right? Does that make sense? That's right? If I send with my little kids the message to you, versus when I send my older one, or my brother, or my father with the message. The honorable the messenger is, it means that shows you that how much I honor you too. So can you imagine that the messenger was Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? How honorable this will make you. That this is my messenger. Came to me to carry a message to me from Allah. So sallallahu alaihi wasallam here was described as a servant of Allah, as well as many other times. So whenever he talked about him receiving the Quran, he described him as his servant or slave. And when he mentioned Al-Isra, when he was elevated above all the creation, and even some of the narrations, Jibreel backed off. He said, why? He said, that's it, I can't go farther. You, Ya Muhammad, can go, but I cannot. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا. The one who took in the night his servant, his slave again. He didn't choose other name. وأنه لما قام عبد الله يدعوه. In Surah Al-Jinn, verse 19. When Allah's slave, servant, stood up giving da'wah and calling upon Allah. Calling upon Allah. In the time where the Prophet are praying and giving da'wah, this is maqam al-da'wah ila Allah. He was described as the servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. طيب. What we learn from this description? That when you read in the Quran that Allah described Muhammad in this verse as the slave of Allah. Number one, من من الله عليه بالعلم يجب أن يكون عبد مطيع لله. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you knowledge, you should be an obedient servant to Allah. It doesn't work that Allah give you the knowledge, give you the access to the ilm, give you access to the Quran, and you don't obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're fajr. That doesn't work. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهِ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. Allah is truly feared by the scholars. ولذلك قال سفيان لما قيل له من العالم قال الذي يخاف الله. The true scholar is the one who fears Allah. So it doesn't work. You claim that you are a person of knowledge, a person of guidance, a person of religiosity, and you're not a servant and a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number two, من من الله عليه بالعلم يجب أن ينفي من قلبه الكبر ولذلك سماه عبد. If Allah give you also knowledge, you should take away all kind of arrogance out of your heart. It doesn't work. You receive the guidance and you guide people and you're arrogant. That's why Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, you will not enter Jannah if you have as much as master seed of kibr in your heart. Number three, you remember the story when I told you the Prophet for 15 days, he did not receive what? The answer. So Allah reminding him and everyone else that the Nabi Sallallahu is a servant. He just received the orders and deliver it. He reminded them that he is nothing but a servant of Allah. He's not the one who make the rules. Not the one who give the answer and make up the laws. So it's very beautiful how the word servant fits the story. Very clear how the relationship is. Also, it shows you the word servant or slave of Allah. أن أكثر الناس انتفاعا بالقرآن أكثرهم عبودية لله. You want to benefit the most from the Quran, be the most, show your servitude in the most يعني, clear way to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The more you are a servant of Allah, the more you show servitude to Allah, the more you benefit from the Quran. So that's why he said this book, have sent it to his servant, his slave. The more you show how you're a slave of Allah, you submit yourself to Allah, to the will of Allah. The more you do that, the more Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teach you from the Quran and benefit you from it. The word send down. أنزل على عبده. النزول في لغة العرب لا يكون إلا من علو إلى سفل. وهذا في القرآن كثير ويدل على أن الله عال على خلقه. That this verse send down in Arabic language, inzal, which means send down, and in English as well, it means from above, something above you, send down, goes down. So that's one of the verse shows that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala above the world, above his creation. Not underneath of them, not inside them, not with them, he's above them subhanahu wa ta'ala. So also, this shows you that Al-Quran came from Allah, did not came from someone else. It's not something Jibreel made. It's not something Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam made as the kuffar claimed. And also it shows you that the Quran was sent down to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, no one else. It's not like the Qadiani, for example, would say Ahmed Qadian also received the Quran. Or another group tell you that someone received the Quran. Later on after the Prophet, a lot of people said, I received the Quran. Again, Allah resent it to me. No, he sent it only to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Or someone said that Al-Quran was supposed to be sent to Ali ibn Abi Talib. But by mistake, it was given to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the one who said this Ta'ifa, a group, very small group among the Shia. It's one of the sects in the Shia. So, all this is not accepted. طيب. الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب. He sent it to his servant, down upon his servant. Question. أليس النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قدوة لنا? Isn't the Prophet ﷺ our role model? And we've been ordered to copy the Prophet ﷺ. That's right? That's right? طيب. So from this verse we learn that we also, since Allah sent it down to Muhammad ﷺ, we need to learn how the Prophet ﷺ dealt with the Quran, so we deal with the Quran in the same manner. Because since Allah said, I send it to Muhammad, and Muhammad is your role model, so you have to learn how Muhammad dealt with the Quran, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you do the same with the Quran. How the Prophet ﷺ used to recite it, so you recite the Quran. How the Prophet ﷺ cared to hear the Quran from someone else other than him, so you care to listen to the Quran. Muhammad ﷺ memorized the Quran, so you care to memorize the Quran or part of the Quran. The Prophet ﷺ used to apply the Quran in his daily life. As Aisha said, كَانَ خُلُقُهُ الْقُرْآنِ. The Prophet ﷺ's life was all based on the Quran. The manner of conduct, the way he carried himself, the way he dealt with people, it represents the teachings of the Quran. Sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. The way the Prophet ﷺ followed the command of the Quran, believed in the Quran, you should do the same. All this we learn just from this verse. Alhamdulillah alladhi anzala ala abdihi al-kitaba wa lam yaj'al lahu iwaja. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying here that, and he has not made therein any deviance. Al-iwaj, is it deviant? Yeah, deviance is a good word. Iwaj, it means to deviate. Crookedness. It's no crookedness, it's a straight. It is perfect. طيب. هذه نسميها نحن جملة سلبية. This is a negative statement. He's saying there is nothing wrong or it's not a deviant, or not crookedness in it. In here, he said, عوجا, any kind of crookedness, any kind of deviation. هذه النكرة تدل على العموم. يعني any type. What that means, it's not, there is nothing in it broken. There is nothing in it imperfect. There is nothing in it which is crooked or missing or wrong or faulty or messed up. Nothing in it. Here, give you generality. Can you tell me what kind of generality? Or is it anything? What the areas? Like in which areas? Like give me examples. The way you pronounce it. Nothing in it is crooked. Nothing is wrong. Not a single letter, not a single word in it, it doesn't fit linguistically or is not perfectly pronounced. Perfect. Nothing in it when it comes min jihat at-tarakib, the structure of the sentence. It's just perfect structure. Nothing in it broken. Not one sentence, the structure of it is broken. From grammar perspective, from meaning perspective, literature perspective, it's just perfect. So the words are perfect, the structure of the sentence is perfect, the meaning is perfect. لا من جهة المعنى، لا عوج فيه من جهة المعنى. The teaching, the message is not contradicted. It's not a message that leads people to be crooked or to be deviated. Okay? It is muhkam. It is perfectly sent. The wording and the meaning. من جهة اللفظ ومن جهة المعنى. And when it comes to it's محكم من جهة اللفظ والمعنى. عدل من جهة الأحكام. صدق من جهة الأخبار. It is just and fair when it comes to the rulings. And it is absolutely true when it comes to the information that contained. So that's why he said no iwaj, no deviation in it. There is nothing wrong in it. When it comes to the ruling, it's just unfair. It comes to the information, it's absolutely true and accurate. When it comes to the structure of the sentence, when it comes to the meaning, when it comes to the wording, it's excellent. So it is from all aspects, there is nothing wrong in it. وتمت كلمة ربك صدقا وعدلا لا مبدل لكلماته وهو السميع العليم. وتمت كلمة ربك صدقا في الأخبار وعدلا في الأحكام. Truthful when it comes to the information, and it is just and fair when it comes to the rulings. Look at this Surah Al-An'am, verse 115. And look at Surah Al-Zumar, verse 28. وَلَقَدْ ضَرَبْنَا لِلنَّاسِ فِي هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ مِنْ كُلِّ مَثَلٍ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَذَكَّرُونَ قُرْآنًا عَرَبِيًّا غَيْرَ ذِي عِوَجٍ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَّقُونَ. It's a perfect Quran in Arabic and no iwaj again. There's nothing wrong, no deviation or no deviance in it. So it's straight. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said something after that, after he negated that it contained any kind of iwaj, any kind of crookedness or false or anything like that. That's a negative statement. He made a positive statement. He said, qayyiman. Qayyim, it means straight. Perfectly straight, perfectly made. So this to prove that negative statement that we just made. So here he negates that there is anything false or not correct or not perfect, and here to say it is straight, it's perfect. And قالوا قيما يعني ظاهرا وباطنا. The message that it carries is perfect and straight. The meaning that appears from the verses, it's straight and perfect. أيضا. They said, why? Because sometimes the structure of the sentence would appear from the talk as all perfect. But when you look, what do we call between the lines, the supplement messages that it carries is not as good as the thing that appear from the top. You follow me? Sometimes when you hear some talk, it sounds good, but there is like hidden messages in it. It doesn't sound right. There is something, question about it. Allah saying in this verse, He said, that's nothing like that because it is qayyama, it is straight. There is nothing hidden other than what you see. It's all perfect. Zahira wa batin, what appear and the messages of it. So that's why we refuse it. Absolutely, someone said, Al-Quran carry a message to the public and a special message to the private people or special people. So the awam understand the Quran in one way, but those who are higher level of spirituality, they understand the completely different manners. That's not acceptable. That will not make Al-Quran qiyamah. It will not make Al-Quran a straight book. Also, one of the things that I think it is also can be very interesting, that the ulama said, qiyamah yani comes from the word qayyim. You know what qayyim means? In charge of, or someone responsible for. That's what Ibn al-Qayyim, Qayyim al-Jawziyya, someone who is in charge of something. So Al-Quran described as something in charge of what? In charge of Islahu Ahwal al-Nas. That the Quran is nothing deviance in it, nothing wrong in it, and in fact is not just a negative statement. There is a positive description here by telling you Al-Quran not only that there's nothing wrong in it, no, it is every good thing in it. That it will fix your life, it will fix your relationship with your family, with your community, with the world, with yourself, with Allah, in the dunya and in the akhirah. يصلح أحوال الناس جميعا. And that's also another opinion was mentioned in regard to the meaning of the word qiyam. And a third meaning that appeared to me, which is qiyamah. So غير ذي عوج, or a book that does not have any crookedness or deviance in it. Then he said qiyamah يعني straight, but also straight here it means not the straight in itself, يعني ليس قيما في نفسه فقط بل مقيما لغيره. يعني it makes people straight. So this verse show you that it is not describing the Quran in its nature, but it describes the influence of the Quran. That the influence of the Quran that make people straight, make people believer. And absolutely that's true. Until today, in our days today, reason number one for people to be Muslim is reading a copy from the Quran. By far, everybody enters Islam. Most of the people who became Muslim today, they said it is because I read a copy from the Quran. And you all heard, I'm sure, the story of Cat Stephen, Yusuf Islam. When he became Muslim in the hospital, he said, I picked up the book, the Quran, and I looked, and in the Quran it says, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. This book, there is no doubt about it. He said, I was shocked. Nobody started a book like that, except God. And that's so powerful. We'll stop here because the time. To be continued, inshallah, next week. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If anyone has a question, more than welcome, inshallah, to ask. Yes.